Last year from September up until December, I was purely locked in. My discipline had reached levels that I didn't even think I could reach outside of school. I had no authority figure telling me what to do, but I was waking up at 6 a.m. every day. See, it's cooler to say 5 a.m., but I was waking up at 6 a.m. I was doing my morning routine, meditating, journaling, reading my Bible, praying every single day without fail. I didn't even take breaks. Monday to Sunday, it was the same routine. I would work on the YouTube videos. And I was making a lot of progress. I remember in those 3 months, I went from 50 subscribers to about 500. And then in December, when my friends came back from university, they were complimenting me. They were saying, "Oh, you've made so much progress. You're looking the best you've ever looked. You're so large now." I wasn't large then, but comparatively, I was actually quite large. And there's nothing wrong in enjoying compliments. But I lived in those compliments. And because I was living in them, because I wasn't looking forward, I focused on those compliments. And it's like I convinced myself that I'd arrived. I convinced myself that, what, I've done enough work, so now I can enjoy. And because of that, I began focusing on things that were not responsible for me improving, for me getting those compliments in the first place. I began focusing on things like clout, on quick money, on women. I lost focus on the vision that actually drove me to those insane levels of discipline. I actually haven't reached those levels of discipline yet, but in the next few weeks, I'll be surpassing those. I'll be extremely disciplined, and I'm saying this here to keep myself accountable. So I lost that vision of the goal that I wanted to achieve, of growing this YouTube channel, of cultivating a community of men who are interested in improving themselves at a young age. So 5 months ago, that's when the decline started. The decline of my discipline, of my work rate. I stopped doing all the foundational activities that got me to that point. The small things like meditation, journaling, reading your Bible. You may think that these small things like journaling, meditating, they're not really that big. And the most important thing is doing the work. That's what I thought. But it's these small habits that creates the foundation for you to propel yourself, for you to be able to actually do the work that you want to do efficiently. And I stopped doing those good foundational habits, and I replaced them with destructive ones. Instead of waking up first thing in the morning and starting a morning routine of meditation, praying, journaling, I'd use my phone. I'll check my messages first thing in the morning. Instead of putting my phone in another room while I'm working, instead of turning off all notifications, I turn them on, because I was like, you know what you say when you turn on your notifications. I actually think the most important one was using my phone first thing in the morning, because instead of starting off my day focused on my vision or my purpose, I started off my day filling my mind with stuff that was quite frankly unimportant. Oh, LeBron James broke the scoring record. Yay! And then what? All that information about other people succeeding wasn't helping me succeed. It wasn't helping me do anything that I wanted to do. In fact, it was making me feel worse about myself. And then because I started off the day scrolling, filling my mind with useless information, it was hard for me to focus. So when I did sit down to work, I would script half of a video and go on YouTube, script another quarter of the video, reply my messages on Instagram. And slowly but surely, through the accumulation, through the compounding of these small destructive habits, I got to a place where I couldn't even recognize what I was doing. I was like, what? Like, literally, one day I woke up, I was like, what the hell am I doing with myself? And that day was a few days ago. I'm actually sick. So the next 3 or 4 videos, because I'm recording many at one time, so the next 3 or 4 videos, you're going to hear me like this. The thing is, the effects of these small habits weren't noticeable day to day. But over the course of the last 5 months, it's so blatantly obvious what they've done. And I don't want you to go through the same thing. I don't want to go through the same thing again. So I'm making this video so that I always have something to look back on, and so that you always have something to look on. My future son will be able to watch this video and he's going through the exact same thing. So there are 3 valuable lessons. 3? Yeah. There are 3 valuable lessons that I've learned from this period. The first lesson is success is the best test of character. After the first 3 months of that intense grind, of that pure discipline, I started seeing some success. People were complimenting me. The YouTube channel was growing. The YouTube channel was actually on a great trajectory. At the rates that I was going at, if I continued that rate, I should be at about 10k subs right now. And I know that's not how things work. Things aren't always linear. But if I was continuing that way, I would have been at 10k subs right now. But I got my first bit of success. Videos were getting like 3k views, 2k views. And I stopped working as hard because I thought, no, now I've put in the hard work. Now I just need to tap the ball. The momentum's going. So I stopped working as hard. Success made me complacent. Success made me stop doing the very things that led me to that point. Do you want to know something that I don't tell many people because it's quite humiliating to admit? On my wall, I have goals on my wall right now. So goals, quotes, and whatnot. I got this from Hamza. Many of the things I've gotten are from Hamza. Last year, in September, on my wall, one of my goals was to have 50k subscribers by June. And I genuinely think I would have hit that if I was consistent. Right now, I have 611 subscribers. 1% of what I intended to achieve. The only reason I'm not where I wanted to be is because I got complacent. I had the first bit of success, gaining like 100 subscribers in one day. I had that first bit of success. And I took my foot off the gas. As humiliating and disappointing as that is to say, I think it's the most valuable lesson I've learned. Because 8 months ago when I was writing this and I was putting the goals on my wall, I was so excited. Now I'm like, I've sold myself short. There's no one to blame but me. And for you, there's no one to blame but yourself. If you aren't achieving what you want to achieve, if you aren't where you thought you would be, 9 times out of 10, you're the only person to blame. If you don't have the character of a successful person, at your first bit of success, you will slow down because you will think you've arrived. You haven't arrived. You're very far from your goal. But to you, success is success. So you will just slow down. The second thing I've learned, and probably one of the most important things, well, there's only 3, so I think it's probably the most important one, is that small actions matter more than the large actions. I want you to imagine a balancing scale. On one side, you have your best self. On the other side, you have your worst self. With each action that you take, you're putting a 1 gram weight. Like 1 gram. 1 gram is nothing. You can't even feel that there's 1 gram in your hand. But with each action you take throughout all your days, you're either going to place a weight on the best side or on the worst side. And over time, though all these actions will seem inconsequential, they'll seem insignificant, over time, over 5 months, because you probably make like hundreds of decisions a day, over 5 months, it will be clear which side you're choosing, which side you're putting more weight on. For most people, most of their decisions, most of the actions they take supports the worst side of themselves. They'll be complacent, they'll be lazy, they won't finish things, they won't put in as much effort as they could. They'll scroll social media instead of working on something that will actually improve their lives. And fair enough, like, one decision isn't going to change your life, right? But then the way you make one decision is going to lead to the way you're going to make the next one, and the next one, and the next one. It's going to compound. And over time, you'll look at the scale and you'll be like, damn, one side is clearly heavier than the other. And for most people, they see that the side is the worst version of themselves. And to deal with this, they just ignore it. They just stop trying to improve. You're not going to be like that. I'm not going to be like that. And what I want you to take from this is that with each action you take, it's like you're voting for the type of person that you want to become with each action. When you're walking past the room and you see a dish in the room, and you're like, it's not my dish. Why should I pick up after that person? It's not my dish. Fair enough, you shouldn't have to pick up after someone. But it's your responsibility to keep your house clean. So by not picking that plate up, by not taking it to the kitchen and putting it into the sink, you are placing a vote for the type of person who doesn't care, who doesn't take responsibility of their surroundings. And over time, those decisions will compound, and you'll end up living in a room that's dirty. So remember that your actions, each action you take is like placing a vote on the type of person you want to become. So if most of your actions, like let's say 51% of your actions are subpar, You're not going to become 51% a subpar person because it's going to compound. So that 51% is going to grow every single day, every single month, every single year until the point where you're just blatantly a subpar person. So see, the example of this in my life is I stopped meditating. I started using my phone first thing in the morning. At first, I'll just use my phone. I'll reply to messages. It would be like for like 2 minutes. And I'll continue my day. 2 minutes became 3. 3 became 5. 5 became 20. 20 became 1 hour. You know, with the type of content I produce, right? Me saying that I used to use my phone for an hour first thing in the morning a few months ago. A few weeks ago. It's not a good thing to say. But I promised myself I'd be authentic. So all these small actions, picking up your phone first thing in the morning, not meditating, not picking up that plate, not doing the last rep when you know you could do the last rep, but the burn is just too much and you're like, you know what, MG. All those actions, they genuinely are inconsequential on the grand scheme. But over time, as you repeat those actions, they compound. And the thing with compounding is, it's not a gradual thing. You'll just wake up one day and you realize that, damn, I was choosing a subpar version of myself. And the third thing that I learned, and it's quite interesting, is that what you watch influences you more than the people that you spend time with. You see, nowadays, with the modern world, we're all quite antisocial. Like, based on the standards that our fathers, our grandfathers lived, we're antisocial. I saw the study that, like 60 years ago, most teenagers, about 85% of teenagers would see their friends every single day and do something with them. And now it's gone to 14% of teenagers that see their friends every single day and do something with them. Since we spend more time on the internet than we spend with other people, the internet is going to influence...
TJ!
The internet is going to influence us more than the people we spend time with. We consume more content than conversations we have. So what you consume will genuinely shape your life more than the friends you have. And this may sound like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? The reason I came up to this conclusion or made this realization is because I've had the same friends for the past 8 months. You know, that those 3 months where I was extremely disciplined and these 5 months where I haven't been as disciplined as I can be. I've had the same friends. The only thing that changed is the type of content that I was consuming. I went from watching educational things like, at the time, you know, Andrew Huberman, Chris Williamson, I would literally just watch a podcast. No editing, watch it. Not listening to it while I'm doing something else, I would watch it. That was my entertainment. I enjoyed that as much as I enjoy like going to the movies and watching Batman. And then in December, for some reason, I started watching more Netflix. You know, I started watching those clickbait videos, those ultra-edited videos. Those videos that add, quite frankly, no value to your lives. The types of videos that I've been making. You know, those 3-minute videos. You know, 3-minute videos, they can be very impactful, but most of them aren't. So as I was watching more of this content that wasn't as educational, I was improving less. I wasn't upgrading on my intellect daily. So since I wasn't improving, I was regressing. Because as you know in this life, you either improve or you decline. Because this trend of the world is constant improvement. So if you aren't improving, you're declining because relatively you're getting worse than everyone else. So you may be staying here, but then the world will just be going like this, and this. So it just means you're getting worse. And yeah, guys, I got pierced. You see this? My ear is pierced. Not that you care. With the same friends that I have now, I actually have very good friends. I haven't changed my friends. I've simply changed the content that I consume. And now I'm back. I can confidently say, gentlemen, that I'm back. The Takura that you knew probably when you first started watching this channel. And if you come recently, you're watching a shadow of myself. All I did was change the content. I stopped watching stupid content that wasn't going to impact my life. And I went back to listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks, watching things that genuinely changed my life. And I'm happy to be back. The future has great things in store because I will not let myself get into the position that I got in for the past 5 months.